Alright, fellers, it's been a while since I've hit record and spoken to the microphone. But that's what we're doing on this evening. Shut up. Let me go. Forgot how to do this, if you can believe it. It's been a long time. Very long time. Okay. I'm back to doing these as actual videos instead of during a live stream, so that I can use the stream to focus on playing video games. And I don't have to segment anything, which makes it just easier for me just to organize and make thumbnails for and stuff like that. I get to focus fully on the video instead of looking at chat, which even though I say I'm not going to look at chat while I do these, I do it anyway because it's me we're talking about. And then if something happens with the stream or something, nobody misses anything. So, down the drain, I just ate, sorry. I think I played like one map from this. I don't remember which map. I don't remember when it was, but I think I played a map from this. I have it downloaded at least. Mount Pain 27 has given me consent to record this video. If you've not seen the original, close this now. Go to his channel and go give him your first view, because the man deserves it. And then come back and we'll watch this together. I'll still be here. Don't you worry about that. Down the drain. Let's get cooking, brothers. Sorry, is this... Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Oh, this was the... Yeah, this was the same opening last time, wasn't it? I was about to observe that, hey, the school, you know?
Hello there, and welcome to the lost episodes of Dean of Doom, where we explore the Doom community's deepest reaches. I'm Mount Pain 27, and
I get it! It's a TNT reference! I got it!
today's episode will be dedicated to Down the Drain, a vanilla-compatible megawad released by Benjogami in 2021. You wouldn't believe how long I've wanted to talk about Down the Drain. In the Doom sphere, there are few creative visions more mesmerizing than Benjogami's, but outside of the Slaughter sect, he's relatively obscure. Before the mighty abandon, all but the greatest or most persistent players crumble. Fewer still can survive the chthonic fever dream that is Toilet of the Gods, and only complete madmen venture deeper into his wadography. Believe me, I lost my mind a long time ago.
Would you say it went down the drain? Sorry.
Down the Drain is probably Benjo's most
That was fun, by
approachable
the way.
work, but let's just say that it doesn't get many mild responses. This is not a WAD that everyone can like, but the specificity of its demographic increases the upside of trying it if you do end up liking it. The best way I can set the stage for this WAD without wasting precious mystery is to say that something waits for you down the drain. It will test you, but if you can accept some discomfort and face the unknown with an open heart and mind, you will be rewarded. It also happens to be really goddamn fun. So, today we're keeping all the standard Dean of Doom rules, but I did invoke It's Just Not Worth It once or twice.
Okay.
I played Down the Drain on Z-Doom with Doom strict compatibility. For one map in particular, this might annoy the purists, but I don't care. Now to the WAD.
I like the abridged intros. Lets you get to talking about the WAD a little bit faster. I like that. Probably save you some time as well. So, repeat what you just said.
It's just not worth it once or twice. I played Down the Drain on Z-Doom with Doom strict compatibility. For one map in particular, this might annoy the purists, but I don't care. Now to the WAD.
Fair.
Map 1, From Unknown. Extraordinary wasn't the word that came to mind when I first strolled through this blocky valley, but From Unknown is one of the finest openers I know of because it encapsulates everything this megawad is about and stays fresh even on playthrough 4. Benjogami prefers breakneck rocket slinging to steady super shotgunning, his zany secrets are always godsends, and the roaming cyber demon always keeps me guessing. The only ingredient we're missing is
sounds like fun.
Archviles. Don't worry, they're coming. From Unknown is aggressive for a map 1, which might lead you to believe Benjogami takes monster placement as unseriously as his texturing. Both assumptions are incorrect. Down the Drain's jagged minimalism is probably a love it or hate it thing, but I fell for it immediately, and it's a testament to Adrian Carmack and Benjo that wanton slathers can still express so much. From Unknown wears its chaotic heart on its sleeve, and I dare say it kicks off Down the Drain as well as Planet Telex does the bends. Grade A, difficulty B.
Also, I believe that Down the Drain is vanilla compatible, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. He might have said it and I forgot. Memory of a goldfish. But I'm pretty sure that Down the Drain, you can play Down the Drain like in DOS if you wanted to.
Map 2, Someone's Castle. Benjogami's best stuff is fueled by mayhem and tempered with discomfort. The source of discomfort in Someone's Castle is it has no idea that Map 2s are usually tepid tutorial stages. This little fire breather has a fight around every corner and grooves to Nirvana's mitified rage. I still can't believe the final fight, which dumps imps, barons, hell knights, revenants, and rockets on you and then lights a match. The use of Comp Blue for waterfalls is an endearing and unself-conscious choice that doesn't diminish the eeriness of this industrial grotto at all. DTD will spend its first episode showing us how our green world found prey to technological perversions, but if you don't care about lore and just want to kill monsters, that's okay too. Grade A-, difficulty C+. Map 3, Private Island. I promise I don't live under a rock, but Private Island introduced me to Radiohead's High and Dry, and that's a big reason why this map lives in a part of my memory. Apparently, this
I have never listened to Radiohead, so don't you worry about that. I live under the rock.
Retreat is owned by Archviles, and they'll complicate close-quarters encounters if you let them scramble. Find yourself someone who loves you as much as Benjogami loves the rocket launcher. It's such a blast to unload explosives and regular-ass fights, and Benjo lets you do this all the time. If you're looking for a pick-me-up, check the Well of Souls, and there's a plasma laying around here somewhere, but I know that's a Plutonio reference, but I always think Candlemas. Didn't find it and didn't need it. Restless, nostalgic, and comparatively lightweight, Private Island always whisks me along and leaves me with a bittersweet feeling. Grade A-, difficulty C.
So far.
Map 4, Kick the Can. It almost can't get simpler than this. Kick the Can is a chunky quarry which can only be escaped by touching water circles enclosed within geological O-shaped elevators. What a sentence. The first one can be reached from a cliff at the end of this tunnel, and the rest can be triggered in order, assuming you can skirt the monsters trickling out of each water spout. This map looks like it could have taken 15 minutes to make, but its free-form attack makes each playthrough different.
If I tried to make this exact same map, it would take me like a week.
Benjogami offers 2 checkpoints to improve your quality of life, which demonstrates a lot more than 15 minutes of thought. Kick the Can's naked abstraction, combined with MIDI Tom York pouring his heart out, invents emotions we haven't discovered yet. Grade A-, difficulty B-. Map 5, Rolling Down. Rolling Down is an intimidating ditch swarming with foes and shaped like an arachnotron without its undercarriage. The cinematic MIDI, need for better weaponry, and blockades of boneheads, barons, and cacos in hot pursuit make the climb plenty tense, but there's an avalanche primed at the top. 50 rockets is barely enough to stem the tide of 6 Archviles and their hodgepodge of heavies, and ammo is not allotted for the 44 lost souls trapping the fake exit switch, which neither needs nor wants to explain itself. The audacious ending and nervy atmosphere stick with me. Grade B+, difficulty B+. Map 6, Baloney Town. Every minute of this ramshackle hamlet shootout is delightful. I might be an even bigger sucker for primitive Doom cute than I am for the regular kind. Baloney Town's impression of podunk Americana is like a rough draft of Doom City with more anger. The entire town is rigged to blow, so think long and hard before you touch keycards. Red is in the grocery store, blue is in the Cyberdemon body shop, and yellow is sitting on the Weaver's easy chair. Touching the living room painting will lower the TV set, which teleports you out to the crackhead's house. 5 strung-out Archviles and their cronies live there, so make sure you're packing heat. The rocket launcher and mega speedball down in the basement.
Yeah, don't go to a crackhead's house unless you're packing heat. I'll just go ahead and say that right now.
And are more than compensatory for your pains. I played like an old man this time around, but I promise it's a sugar rush to spring all the traps at once and flee to the crack den for safety. Grade A, difficulty B+. Map 7, The Perfect Gerbil Cage. Now at the outskirts...
There's a joke I could make about this map title. The fact I'm hesitant probably is telling of the kind of joke.
Of town, we find ourselves in a region the locals call the Perfect Gerbil Cage, which is cleanly split between Canyon Infight Party and Fearsome Caving Expedition. Benjo's geology permits you to shortcut across the gulch, but make sure to take a lap for the BFG at some point. You're gonna need it for the closing fight. After dusting off 40 revenants with rockets you found laying in the mud, 5 Archviles jump out of the exit door. An army of imps bars your escape, and you better work quickly before the vials get the skeletons dancing again. The 2 secret bulk cells hiding in the revenant cupboards are your ace in the hole. The Perfect Gerbil Cage microdoses you on Benjogami the Slaughter Sensei, but it's admittedly less intriguing than what we've seen so far. Grade B+, difficulty B.
Yeah, I liken all of the, I'm digging all the rocket launcher showcasing. Very fun.
Map 8, Deep Tech. A major departure from the sunshiny rocket fests that have dominated the episode, Deep Tech is exploration-based and markedly unforgiving with supplies. This slimy subterranea is drenched in hurt floor, but offers just one non-secret rad suit to get through it. The trade-off is, any place you have to walk through poison to reach is technically optional. I say technically because if you don't go looking for better hardware, your only weapon against the exit honor guard is Doomguy's rugged charm. The chamber to the northwest is full of recuperative items, including a set of light amp goggles, invaluable for newcomers plotting their course through the green goo. In the misaligned brick outpost, you'll find chain guns, plenty of bullets, and the exit keep portcullis switch. From here, the Green River leads to a rocket launcher, plasma rifle, and the most glorious hoedown in DTD so far.
Okay. Alright. That's funky.
Amusingly, Benjo lets you peek behind the curtain by teleporting into the Soul Sphere stuffed monster closet as much as you want. Note that unless you save at least 120 health here, you won't be fit enough to make a hazmatless dash for this game-changing megasphere.
Oh.
Deep Tech is too impish to be true survival horror, but I always leave it with a near-empty backpack and thank my lucky stars. These days, it's a brave map that permits the player to screw themselves over. Grade A, difficulty A-. Map 9, Forts and Alleys. The dingy, downcast Forts and Alleys is always the first map in Down the Drain to cool my jets. Turret enemies dictate the flow of combat more than usual, ammo's tighter than Benjo's crooked corridors, and half the walls in this place are fake. The high point of the map is the pair of vials that get released when you pick up the yellow key. The rest is sort of stop and go, at least the way I play it. Once upon a time, before I knew about this stupid fake wall plasma rifle that doesn't even appear in the auto map, I ran out of ammo down the final stretch and it was grim. Since then, I've conditioned myself to punch as much stuff as possible before that. It helps, but I wouldn't call it enjoyable. Grade B-, difficulty B. Map 10, Here and There, Now and Then.
Okay.
Acquired taste if ever there was one. Here and There, Now and Then is a cryptic junktopia that's unabashedly hostile on first contact.
Ooh,
you see
God,
those revenants?
venomous.
They get released if you hit this switch, and that's a disaster. I've tentatively concluded that the safest play is to cut through the Archvile habitat, grab the plasma, and get the secret rocket launcher by pressing on this rock wall. From this perch, you can pick off the revenants, and if you saved this rad suit, you can plunder their cove for a megasphere and your rockets back. The last leg of this map is a real bummer. First, you have to investigate the poison burn barrel platform. Hope you still got that rad suit. Then you have to backtrack to the habitat where bars have opened, blast your way to the yellow key, and loop all the way back around to the big yellow exit door, which is guarded by the most unpleasant cyber demon in the WoD. You're on stairs, he's on stairs, and the prison bars make it hard to see what he's doing. This is a rare piece of Benjo mischief I cannot warm to. Grade B.
Yeah, that's
difficulty
vicious.
A-. Map 11, Cache Raiders.
That is
this
mega
vibrant
vicious.
combat ecosystem applies just enough pressure to disrupt the starting equilibrium and set the pendulum in motion. Every action in this map has an equal and opposite reaction. All the armors and medikits are sitting in this depot, but each transaction opens 4 sleeves of Hell Knights, ramping up the pressure on your flank. Taking the SSG triggers a wave of imps and pinballing cacodemons. The rocket launcher, another wave of imps and an archvile. There's even a give and take to this nasty pitfall. You can fall in here by accident, or go through some pain, drop right onto the chain gun, and open up this wall to reach a soul sphere. Making the player rush into danger to get the resources they need to combat it is a delicate calibration, but Benjo nailed it. Grade A, difficulty B+.
This looks fun!
Map 12, Into the Tomb. Now's your chance to take a good long look at the sky. Into the Tomb is a short transitional juncture between E1's earthy locales and Down the Drain Land's corrupted underworld. It's one of the easiest maps in the set, and its fights are discreet and unexciting. To Benjo's credit, he set the bar high, and I think he'd prefer we concentrate on this chilling descent sequence and the story text that primes it. You're getting closer to the terrible truth of what happened here. You can feel it in the energetic humming of the earth itself, vibrating through your boots like 10 billion buried cell phones crying for your help in desperate unison. Perhaps I can help, but it might not be the kind that you hopeless souls are calling for. Grade B+.
Good lord, brother.
B+. Map 13.
Could you imagine 10 billion phones all vibrating at the same time? I wonder what that would feel like. I don't want to know, actually. Never mind. I take that back.
Vet and Process. I think this is one of my favorite maps ever. I know, it's just 2 blocky rooms full of obnoxious strobes, oscillating platforms, crushers, and some puke
It looks like fun!
misalignments, but the combat is maniacal. The first room unleashes a pack of freaks you can lead into the Thresher's teeth to make strawberry jam, and the second room blossoms into a 4th of July grand finale when you hit this switch.
Yeah, this looks like the kind of map I would enjoy. Oh, hell yeah, brother.
You get 2 invulns to surf this maelstrom of fire and lead, turning certain death into a dance party for the murderously antisocial. I don't know if this was just Benjogami riffing, or if the glorious torrent of violence was carefully constructed, but Vet and Process is a rare breed of unhinged brilliance regardless. Grade A+, difficulty
Hell
B+.
yeah, brother.
Map 14, the perfect human cage. A lot of mappers have
Believe it or not, I can still make the same joke about this one too. It is the same location.
a lot of artists in general would sell a kidney to command tone in their work like Benjogami. The perfect human cage oozes foreboding from start to finish, but at the same time it's set to the world's most whimsical interpretation of Radiohead's A Wolf at the Door, which makes safecracking in this forgotten bunker
It's funny, the MIDI sounds familiar to me. I haven't heard that one either.
feel like opening Christmas presents. The starting room conveyor belts that ship off the Hell Nobles, the orgy of hit scanners and storage, and the captive archviles that can't keep you from killing them all feel like whimsical choices too. It's a battle between listening to your survival instincts and giving in to cheery curiosity, but in actuality, the map gives you more than enough space and supplies to coast after the opening hubbub, and if you try the stuck door by the exit after collecting all the keys, you can even keep your feet dry on the way out. Grade A-, difficulty B-. Map 15, Doors of Opportunities. Okay, this is...
It's like the
If
Matrix.
last map was like opening Christmas presents, Doors of Opportunities is like opening Christmas presents from the Unabomber. I cannot coherently explain how this map works. Surviving its wicked web of tripwires, side swipes, and misdirected switches always feels like good luck, and a single bad move can damn you. The object of the game is to gather enough firepower to flatten the 4 archviles watching over the Red Skull Key, but doing so without waking them up prematurely or biting off more than you can chew is not easy.
That
Along
sounds
the
like
way,
fun,
you might
actually.
stumble into this ominous side passage. Don't dawdle with that invuln and remember to press the last switch twice. It opens a teleporter which will blow you up to test your worthiness and then unlock the secret exit found at the end of this dread-soaked blue hallway. This map is a paranoid nightmare, and Midivana gives it a backbone of forlornness. Indeed, a great many things are in the way. Grade A-,
I don't know the name of that song, but I've heard it before, and it's a good one.
difficulty
Also,
A.
that sounds like fun, that map.
What have I stumbled into?
Oh.
The pained words dribble out of your twisted face like the waste that pours from one wretched floor to the next in this hideous mockery of subterranean survival. Of all the doors you've regretted opening in this place, this one will prove the most regrettable. Map 31, Down the Drain.
Ooh.
Okay, let's get the mechanics out of the way first. Down the Drain is made up of 13 3x3 grids of rooms connected by teleporters positioned in the cardinal directions. Excepting the first one, the centers of each 3x3 contain archviles, and the 8 surrounding rooms are occupied by clumps of a single monster type. The 3x3s are differentiated only by their choices of demon.
I'm already lost. But I kind of get what you're saying. I'm already fucking confused.
Wall texture, and flat. There is no armor in the map, but there are soul spheres
That's not you, that's me. I'm done.
in the corner of each 3x3 and megaspheres in the cyber quadrant. Weapons are
Okay, hold on, wait. Actually, no. I gotta settle this for myself. Begin again.
Drain. Okay, let's get the mechanics out of the way first. Down the Drain is made up of 13 3x3 grids of rooms connected by teleporters positioned in the cardinal direction.
Okay. So it's 13 3x3s. Wait, what, made up in a big 3x3? I'm fucking lost.
Excepting the
I guess I'm stuck on the fucking... I'm stuck on the dimensions of it.
first one, the centers of each 3x3 contain archviles, and the 8 surrounding rooms are occupied by clumps of a single monster type. The 3x3s are differentiated only by their choices of demon, wall texture, and flat. There is no armor in the map, but there are soul spheres in the corner of each 3x3
It's like The Descent. There's no armor in that map either.
and megaspheres in the cyber quadrant. Weapons are placed near teleporters and give you about as much firepower as you'll need for where you are. The goal is to press switches in the centers of each and every 3x3, which raises a staircase to the exit. Down the Drain is a descendant of Time of Death's Nostril Caverns and Benjogami's own World Orifice and Long Road No Turns, all well known for their obsessive repetition and intolerance of slip-ups. The scale of this map is more modest than those, but it still takes mortals over an hour to complete, and despite despite its seeming simplicity, presents many potential complications. The biggest one is health and ammo management, and that correlates directly with how many times you allow Archviles to fly the coop. A demon type's bulkiness and speed become serious considerations when you're trying to keep them from bumping into the vial's doors or overflowing into adjoining 3x3s, and if you're playing in true vanilla compatibility, there are ghost monsters to worry about.
Ah, that must have been what you were talking about. Yeah, ghost monsters would be a real issue. Be a real bastard in this map, wouldn't it?
I refuse to do that. You will gain newfound respect or contempt for Pinkies, Revenants, Arachnotrons, and Barons as they confound your plans and refuse to be contained. You will curse the Archviles that, with each resurrection, shrink your chances of exiting. You will think about how much time you'll have wasted if you run out of rockets before clearing the outer squares where the BFG and cells are, and as the fear percolates, your ability to stand this MIDI will buckle. It's easier to concentrate in dead silence, but it doesn't make the work any pleasanter. And it is work. Down the Drain does to me something similar to what my old office job did. You have to stay alert enough to handle infrequent pseudo-catastrophes, but minute to minute, the task requires so little frontal lobe engagement that cruise control is necessary.
That teleport is unfortunate. Got immediately boxed in.
Minute to minute, the task requires so little frontal lobe engagement that cruise control is necessary to avert death by boredom. Down the Drain is stressful, and it's certainly not what I would call fun, but I've played it 4 times. Why? Well, I have some theories.
Okay.
Artistically, Down the Drain appeals to me as an anti-compromise statement. I can almost always respect a unique vision, even if it doesn't make me feel good, because I think we humans ought to explore our expressive capabilities to the fullest, but I know I won't automatically like all of those expressions. Down the Drain's premise tickles the part of me that responds to orderliness and routine. There's a certain beauty and rhythm to the process of cleaning out rooms. Indeed, it does feel like cleaning. And while most of us wouldn't jump for joy at the prospect of scrubbing our bathtub or vacuuming the house, it does end up feeling pretty good when we do.
Yes,
I also
it does.
appreciate that Down the Drain makes me think about why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't really play Doom for fun anymore. I play it because it gives me insight into human nature to see different creative interpretations of this old game.
You've become a writer! Or an artist or something in that realm. You've become a creator.
Fun is often a byproduct
Oh,
of that
fuck
process, but it's not required, especially when eliminating fun delivers me to a new perspective. Down the Drain throws the curtain wide on the whole process and says, you like Doom? Here's some Doom for you. Get guns, open doors, kill monsters. Now f*** off. It's such a bare-ass deconstruction that makes...
I don't know why that made me laugh, but that was funny.
Wide on the whole process and says, you like Doom? Here's some Doom for you. Get guns, open doors, kill monsters. Now f*** off. It's such a bare-ass deconstruction that it makes me laugh, and given the story text and Benjo's wry treatment of the map in Doom World posts, I think its nihilism is tongue-in-cheek. There are no mild opinions about Down the Drain, and I think that's proof enough of its significance, but if that defense doesn't satisfy you, then how about this?
I was watching the Cyber Demon fight. I was watching the cat and mouse over here. I wasn't listening to what he was saying.
I think its nihilism is tongue-in-cheek. There are no mild opinions about Down the Drain, and I think that's proof enough of its significance, but if that defense doesn't satisfy you, then how about this? I guess I just like it. Grade A, difficulty X.
And that's all you need. If you like it, who gives a fuck? That's all the defense you need. Not even really defense. That's all the explanation you need. I like it. Who cares?
Map 32, World War I.WAD.
Okay.
Johnny Romero, get your gun. Seemingly designed to simulate hitting random file on the id Games archive, World War I.WAD is designed to kill you immediately if you just came in from down the drain, and forces you to die by trench foot on your way out, so continuous players beware. If you can avoid falling in a death pit, getting caught on barbed wire, or taking a howitzer to the face, there's a minute or two of fun to be squeezed out of mowing down infantrymen. Taking out the artillery is not worth the shell shock. Cute idea, unpleasantly executed. Grade C-, difficulty C. Map 16, Vidhead. Just so you guys are aware, the Down the Drain that gives a shit about entertaining you will be on break for the next few maps. Vidhead is unabashedly hideous, neurotic, and unyielding.
Just like me! Just like me!
Break for the next few maps. Vidhead is unabashedly hideous, neurotic, and unyielding.
That's
You'll
me!
have absolutely no idea what you're doing in a first playthrough, but the goal is to activate 3 switches lost in the bitter ends of poison ducts and buried in battery acid ravines. Each one reveals a new firing line of hit scanners in the starting room, and then 3 archviles.
Oh God.
You are target practice. After all that, you probably won't know you needed a blue key to exit, but you saw it in the chain gunner's cage down here. Using Wonderland logic, you'll deduce that you need to open up a
Wonderland
wall
logic.
and poison schmutz on the the bottom, kill a Mancubus and enter the cage from behind. It's tantamount to a mandatory secret, but at least Benjo gives you an extra rad suit. On Dean of Doom, you can get away with rudeness if you commit to it enough, and Vidhead is pure punk rock. Grade B+, difficulty A-. Map 17, Passive Social Test Lab.
Okay.
Here we go! Of all the cultural artifacts in the 90s I recognized in the soundtrack, Hey Boy, Hey Girl was not one of them, but in the 9 months it's taken me to chip away at this script, I've taken a liking to it. In MIDI form, it's almost unbearably menacing. Leave it to Benjo Gami to wield goofy dance music like a dark alley switchblade. The first order of business is getting the rocket launcher and taking out the zigzag cage full of superstar DJs. The centerpiece of this mission is High Art. The image of 20 art files tumbling back and forth across the space is so dumb and terrifying that it freezes you mid-giggle. Grab the blue key from the control room, hit this skull switch to lower the split elevator that takes you to the red key, and it's time to confront the ending. I've played this map 3 or 4 times, and this part still makes me want to curl up in a ball. Each skull and sunglasses springs a revenant, art file, or...
Skull and sunglasses. I see it. I do see it.
Makes me want to curl up in a ball. Each skull and sunglasses springs a revenant, art file, or sometimes a megasphere out of a slime column next to you, and opens a pillar back in the first room. In those pillars are cell packs, cyber demons, a BFG, and the yellow key. God knows which switch opens which. The stomach-sick horror of pressing too many wrong switches, running out of ammo, and then bumbling into a wall of arch files at the exit is indescribable. Cowering between oozing gray tall and a block of yellow, while some cyber demons I've coaxed into this room chop down the vile horde is about as pants pissing as a grizzly bear sniffing at the foot of your tent. Passive Social Test Lab is...
Bro, imagine you're in a tent snoozing and you just hear rustling at like the flaps, and then you just hear and it's a fucking bear, dude. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Is one of the most viscerally frightening, intense, demented, and imaginative maps I have ever played. I don't think I've ever been more on Benjo Gami's wavelength, and it's a hell of a feeling. Grade A+, difficulty X-. Map 18, Slime Activation Facility.
I was thinking the song,
The only natural way to follow a thing like Passive Social Test Lab, Slime Activation Facility bops along to ABBA while you navigate a layout shaped like a boy who's either mutating or simply alarmed by the growth on his left arm. The auto map art doesn't really serve or detract from the map's conceit, which is to turn the environment against your foes before it consumes you. 4 rad suits must be sufficient. You'll find 2 in the boy's head, which contains pairs of Pinkies, Hell Knights, Barons, and Cyber Demons. Hit the switch and hurry to the blue key for best results. This constitutes a breather in Benjo Gami's universe, and it's a wisely placed one. He could hardly hope to outdo Map 17's audacity, and cruising into 19, a refill on patience is necessary. Grade B-, difficulty B. Map 19, The Empty Box Abyss. Benjo Gami seems to have no fear of failure, and that attitude, while essential to down the drain success, occasionally yields, well, failures. How fitting that Empty Box Abyss is scored by Primus, because it sucks. You have 9 protected minutes.
What the fuck do you mean? What are you talking about? Are you telling me you don't like John the Fisherman? You dare insult John the Fisherman? I don't think this is John the Fisherman, but you dare insult the band that made John the Fisherman?
Fitting that Empty Box Abyss is scored by Primus, because it sucks. You have 9 protected minutes to figure out what the hell is going on here, and it will almost certainly take longer than that. The asphyxiating dark, clumsy combat, and extreme dullness of the visuals monopolize your attention, and the main objective, which is to collect all the blur spheres in the map and find the unmarked exit, is completely untelegraphed. Almost every crate surface can be interacted with, even stacks with blur spheres on top, and you'll spend the entire map lowering arbitrarily placed goodies and baddies and waiting while time ticks down on your rad suit. Episode 2 is getting crazier and better almost...
In all seriousness, this map probably would piss me off a lot.
Almost every step of the way, and the pace was unsustainable, so the Empty Box Abyss sort of comes as a relief. I've only completed it once legitimately, and it's so audaciously bad that I almost admire it. Grade F, difficulty A. Map 20, top of the bottom. I never would have guessed the Earth's core would be so full of ABBA tunes. Is Benjo Gami trying to say that disco is the source of the planet's corruption? The top of the bottom is an unexpectedly light...
It made a lot of people rich, and that is what money does, so that maybe that's not too far off.
Relaxed episode closer that gets even pleasanter with some familiarity. If you take the time to disentangle your weapons from these spiders and clean out the other buildings before tackling Archvile Hill, you should have little trouble getting the blue key. The megasphere on the exit tower is a reset for encounter a very uncomfortable Cyber Demon
Oh,
encounter.
hello.
It's a bad idea to spar with him in the exit room, but if you can make him descend the elevator and pick a fight with the Barons, you can slip past, jump to the BFG, and lure him to the ground floor to finish him off. Sequences like this expose the neuroticism of the entire UV Max concept. At least I know what I am. Grade B, difficulty B. Map 21, Niven's Ravine. It would seem that throwing Map 20's exit switch spirited you away to hell and reanimated this Cyber Demon, who apparently specializes in guarding exits.
So I guess canonically you're not meant to kill him?
You away to hell and reanimated this Cyber Demon, who apparently specializes in guarding exits awkwardly. To get a head start on pressure washing this canyon, hop into the lava, find this cave, and raid the Mancubus's house for a super shoddy and red skull, which unlocks an early rocket launcher. Niven's Ravine is packed with big money secrets like these, and finding all 7 gives you ample insurance to play aggressively. I feel like a wuss for using the invuln behind the fire blue curtain to bypass Cybe, but it's a treacherous fight without it. Unexpectedly, the hell maps are some of Down the Drain's most conventional looking, and the straightforward guns blazing of Niven's Ravine plays like a detox from your underground reconditioning, but don't let that fool you. With Benjogami, Strange never sleeps. Grade A-, difficulty B+. Map 22, Purnell's Hole. It's just 4 fights.
Hey, it's the gerbil place! Finally, I tied that joke back together.
With a plunge between each, but Purnell's Hole will scourge you with twisted imagination. Don't waste health in Library Punch-Out, because the second room makes you fight Revenants, Imps, Chain Gunners, a Baron, and an Archvile essentially in handcuffs. Archie's behind a fake wall and doesn't move until you let him see you, but if you burned all your shells and or left a bunch of corpses near him, you might have to bail. The Blood Cauldron tests your courage with the rocket launcher, scattering cacos, lost souls, and furniture amidst a lot of angry pink, and the stakes are even higher in the final fight.
Nothing
Unless
worse
you found
than
the
some
rad
angry
suit and scooped up some extra rockets, you've got 11 BFG shots to stamp out 3 Cybers, an Archvile, and a bushel of Barons and Bones. In the end, the second room's scarcity cuts the deepest, but the whole map is hot enough to burn your sins away. Grade B, difficulty A. Map 23, Valley of Mirth. This map has the worst case of athlete's foot I've ever seen. It's covered from heel to toe in an itchy rash of hellspawn that an Archvile—
Wait, I've been saying it forever! It's not the same thing, but dude, it's Slough of Despair, but as a foot! I've been saying it for so long! Yeah!
Foot I've ever seen. It's covered from heel to toe in an itchy rash of hellspawn that an Archvile outbreak labors tirelessly to re-inflame. This is the one time I've UV maxed Valley of Mirth and the last time I'll attempt it. Benjo brutalizes you for making any kind of progress and exacts high prices for all health and ammo, but the Archvile fountain is a crime against humanity. The only way to shut it off is by pressing the floating skull rock and riding up the stone elevator. Now that you're in full view of at least 2 Archviles, you have to press each skull switch, jump down to the fountain and grab both of the items, then put out 4 fires of varying annoyance. There's no ideal time to undertake this task. Wait too long and you may find yourself out of ammo, especially if you're the kind to take personal responsibility for every kill. Try to do it too early and you may fall prey to cyber rockets, reanimated hunting parties, or the endless barrage from the bozos clambering on the toes. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but this map always beats the tar out of me, and cleaning the place out this time ended up being a hollow triumph. I appreciate its sense of irony, but the Valley of Mirth is about as much of a laugher as the Divine Comedy. Grade C+.
More like the Valley of Girth, you know what I'm saying,
Map 24, Designyland.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
At the confluence of Sandy Peterson, Hell Revealed, and the science fiction of Jerry Purnell and Larry Niven, the atrociously punned Designyland is a sprawling discouragement park where all the costumed employees want to rip your head off. It's intimidating
regular
non-linearity, calculated unfairness, constant balance beaming, and maddening MIDI drive up the dread factor, but like the chasm, it's chameleonic and addictively strange. The abundance of dead ends, inescapable pits, weird pockets to delve, and slippery fights prone to teleporter-induced spillage make thousands of different exits and demises possible. I never even laid eyes on the Blue Key before this episode. It and this secret plasma cove require blind leaps of faith to land on, and neither are required to exit. It's difficult to discuss a map that I hardly know how to complete. It leaves you in a state of semi-paralysis, tempted by a dozen possible avenues and a whole drainage ditch of blood to poke around in. Anxieties about making wrong turns are completely founded. Almost every consequential fight requires at least the rocket launcher, and the brick wall of barons guarding it will shatter a player unwilling or unable to face it head on. Treacherous as it is, I forgive Designyland for the same reasons I admire Sandy's Map 24, but it still intimidates me. Grade B+, difficulty A+. Map 25, The Three Buffets.
Golden Corral!
Yes, the third circle.
What is it? Golden Corral, That's the only buffet place I know.
of Hell, where they jam gluttons into pens.
Is Golden Corral still a thing, actually? Hold on. Where is the nearest Golden Corral to me? Sorry. No, this is important. This matters. Golden Corral. I gotta drive like 30 minutes for that? Fuck you, dude.
Like livestock and
Well,
blow
it's
them
still a
up with
thing.
angry space marines. Benjogami returns to his comfort zone with his self-generative battleground of fidgeting lifts and rockets piled high, sifting barons from imps with explosives, gobbling power-ups, and lapping up the stragglers with spare munitions is a binge of arcade hedonism. Only this berserk trap and the esophageal switch tunnel give me pause to wonder what exactly Benjo was thinking. I always leave this map fat and happy. Grade A-, difficulty
Just like
B.
Golden Corral!
Map 26, everyone loves the beach.
Okay, this is the map I played. I played it once a long time ago.
Who would have thunk that Down the Drain's jolliest map would come smack in the middle of its Hell episode? Doom Guy still seems to think he's on vacation, but perhaps self-delusion is
Overboard.
required to survive in life. And in death. The sand is hotter than the sun, the ocean is hotter than the sand, and the wreaths of archvile fire that chase you up and down the sulfurous shoreline are hotter still. All you can do is bounce green beach balls off the Demon Cascade and keep fueling up with mega coladas. Be careful not to disturb the blue key too early. Even under ideal circumstances, you have 7 BFG shots to take down 8 archviles. In the worst case, you'll unknowingly trip over the line that frees them without even grabbing the key, die angrily for 10 minutes, and restart the map. Happened to someone I know. Grade A-, difficulty.
Was that me? Wait, was that me? That might have been me. Or you. It was me or you. He was there when I played it. I remember that. It's either you or me.
A. Map 27,
It's probably you.
Lakeside Rentals. Oddly toothless and sedated by We Suck Young Blood, Lakeside Rentals makes a shaky pitch for hellish tourism. Even taking the views into account, these properties are shabby and obviously overpriced, and the locals are unfriendly. Lakeside Rentals has some tight squeezes, but its fights seem calibrated in your favor. The Hell Noble BFG rush feels atypically mechanical in that way, and I don't quite understand the purpose of all the sentry vials on the island. They can't move, and you have plenty of rockets to shush them, so
I like
why
the MIDI.
waste the time? The last 6 or 7 are a bit navigationally challenged and pose less of a threat than they should, thus wrapping this respite map with a whimper. Grade B, difficulty B. Map 28, Closing Crush. For better or worse, Closing Crush is one of Down the Drain's most conventional maps. This hard-rocking Hell Cave compound is ripe for infighting, especially after you free the Cyber Demon, but that requires weaving through a Hell Knight
Holy
gauntlet
shit.
and praying Cybe doesn't splatter you while you're
Damn, that's-
lowering him, so say your prayers. The vile spiked traps in the Mount Erebus supply depot and on the top step of the marble stairs may catch you unawares, but if you've been letting your
Alright, committee.
bionic goat servant tend to the cattle, you should be stocked up on rockets and cells. The skinny skulkers hiding a megasphere behind these columns might be referencing World Orifice, but never fear, these are ornamental. This secret wall opens to a cozy grove with a rad suit, which allows you to safely traverse the lava corridor, knock out some otherwise unreachable goons, and turn your screen white. Frankly, the invuln is an unnecessary cheat code. We've already seen the worst that Down the Drain can throw at us. Grade A-, difficulty A-.
Hell
Map
yeah.
29, Choke. 2 households,
Okay.
both alike in dignity, in fair hell where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to
Oh.
new mutiny, where civil blood makes demon claws unclean. I don't
Wait.
want to say Down the Drain is better than this,
What's the other
but
one? Oh, Hell Knights.
Down the Drain is better than this.
Oh,
Choke
what?
is obscenely gimmicky. 80 Revenants versus 80 Hell Knights, Cyber Montague and Cyber Capulet hiding in their respective keeps, MIDI Radiohead moaning from the speakers, and a smiley face invuln hiding in a random ash wall.
Sorry, it's Romeo and Juliet reference plus Radiohead. What do you think people from like the 1600s would say if they listened to Radiohead? Like, what do you think the reaction would be?
I have not batted an eye at Benjo's automap art, levels made entirely out of boxes, doors, and rooms full of the same monster or any of his musical selections, but this level of kitsch takes me out of the wad completely. I guess postmodern detachment is to be expected of a shovelware wad that channels everything 90s, but I expected a much more vengeful Map 29 after what Down the Drain's midsection put me through. Don't fall in the moats and you'll be fine. Grade C, difficulty
Fair
B+.
enough.
Map 30, The Great Filter.
Okay.
Touched with sadness, almost perfectly generic, almost perfectly inventive, The Great Filter is a 1-minute closer if you know what you're doing. 4 concentric columns protect Romero's head from your knuckle duster. You have to lower them in the right order while 4 cybers
Oh.
hunt you and 4 spawners chug away. The solution, I believe, is an apt metaphor for this map set. If you don't get it, you'll spin your wheels, die a lot, and protest the pointlessness of the whole affair. If you go against the grain, you'll unlock it. That is The Great Filter. Grade B+, difficulty D.
Hell yeah. I'll get lost in this when I play this in
So,
2029.
Down the Drain is a nostalgia trip for a time that nobody ever really experienced. Its ramshackle D-Zone aesthetic and greatest hits of the 90s soundtrack invoke early Doom mapping, but Benjo infuses his maps with a fickle spirit that belongs to no particular time. It flits without warning from geniality to hostility and back again, tormented, perhaps, by something deep within. I've never played a WoD with such an elusive temperament, and its tonal overlap of random mid-games, creepypasta, disco, Dadaism, and lurking David Lynchian evil is inimitable. I do want to make sure I cut through all the artsy mucky muck to emphasize that this is an incredibly fun megawad if you're not the type to be put off by rocketphilia and raggedy visuals. Though undoubtedly experimental, Down the Drain is Benjogami at his most accessible, and his brand of raw, almost carelessly volatile combat approaches true originality. This has been on my must-cover list for almost 3 years, and while it gives me great satisfaction to finally make a monument to this megawad, I think DTD benefits from obscurity and unwitting discovery, so tell your friends about it, but don't tell them everything. My final grade for Down the Drain is an A. Difficulty-wise, DTD is mercurial and unsparing, but has its fair share of relaxants and the peak of its
Moon-shaped pool try not to cry challenge.
brutality is optional, so we'll give it an A, on par with Going Down as it happens. Now for my Dean's List. Valedictorian, Map 17,
Down the Drain,
Passive Social Test Lab. Salutatorian, Map 13, Vet and Process. Class President, Map 31, Down the Drain definitely. And the dunce cap goes to Map 19, The Empty Box Abyss. Thank you very much for watching.
You're welcome.
Now I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my generous patrons.
Hell yeah,
Aaron
brother.
Allen, Agile Jackson,
All right.
Agoo XY.
Let me see here, brothers. Is there anything after... Nope, does not appear that way.
Thank you. I appreciate you all
You're
so
welcome!
much. This is Mount Pain 27, and I'll see you in the next episode of Dean of Doom.
Whether it be lost or not, hell yeah, brother. That was a good episode. That looks like a fun WoD, and I look forward to eventually getting to that section of the CAC Awards. Hell yeah, good job, Mount Pain 27. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Mr. Mount Pain. And I will see you guys either on my streams, in another reaction video, or in my Discord. Good night, friends.